first things first, we're going to do a little bit of backlogging. I don't know why, but I thoroughly enjoy the process of backlogging my media log. It is the only backlogging I enjoy. But even the tedious task of doing the photo template, of like merging all the photos and cropping all the photos to the right size or the right layout, I love it. I find it so peaceful. And I have absolutely no idea why, because every other kind of backlogging, especially with photos, drives me bananas. And I don't know why. But for some reason, media logging is just a cozy time. Maybe because it is just a very chill little exercise. I have a template. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I don't have a set journal template. I really like talking out loud. You get ideas. It's really good. Maybe I'll change my attitude in a second or two. Anyway, we're doing a little bit of backlogging. We're doing some fan art. Fan art is my favorite place to get these photos. It's just so lovely to see incredible artists do this. I think fan art is really, really fun because of just the community behind, yes, I wasn't the only person who saw that scene and felt something, because like there's somebody making a whole art piece about it, and I think that's so very, very cool, and I really appreciate that and love that. Or, when your favorite character gets a bunch of fan art, and I'm like, yes, people get it, people understand why this character is the best, and they don't even have to be the main character. It's so good. Like, currently for me, Wheelwell from the Dimension 20 show Cloudwood Ho is by far my favorite character so far. He's an NPC, so Brandon Lee Mulligan obviously plays him, but he's been the most entertaining, and it's honestly the best. And yeah, I found quite a bit of fan art of him, and I'm like, yes, I'm so pleased that this person who crops up very randomly, very sporadically throughout the show, is getting this attention from artists and stuff, and that just makes me so happy. So yes, I'm a big fan of fan art, and I wish I had the patience to sit down and make my own. But unfortunately, I just do not have the patience or the passion to work on my artistry that much. But yeah, no, I do really, really like it. Yeah, so we're just going to be backlogging here for a little bit, and then we'll get into the actual filling out this past month's media log. Honestly, this past month has been quite, I don't want to say boring, but it's been quite plain. I will be real with you. We rewatched a lot of Parks and Rec. My partner hasn't really seen it. He's seen bits and pieces of it. I personally love Parks and Rec. It's one of my favorite shows. I think a lot of people like it. So, and because at the time, we didn't want to watch Cloudwood Ho regularly because we like to binge those sort of shows. Like, we want to watch it every night. We watch an episode every night, or very, very consistently. And because it's still coming out, we didn't want to catch up and then be like, oh, what do we watch? And have to like search for a week for something to watch, which is probably really lazy of us because we could be doing so many other things other than watching TV. But I think after a day of work, after a day of taking care of kids, you just want to veg on the couch, and I think it's okay. Sometimes my partner plays a video game at night. He's got the Star Wars Outlaws video game at the moment. He's been really enjoying that. So, every now and then he'd be like, I don't want to watch TV, I want to play my video game. And I get to find something else fun to do, which is usually playing phone games on my phone. Anyway, so I've been rewatching Parks and Rec, which I love. I love Parks and Rec so much. I think it's such a joy to watch. There's so many good characters in that. And yeah, so it's been really fun watching that with my partner. But that's really all we've been doing. We've been watching Parks and Rec, so there's nothing really new to say on the matter. I've watched it a billion times, but it has been really fun rewatching it and quoting it, like writing down the quotes and stuff that I really like. There's some that I got a kick out that I totally forgot, like snails out of your butt. I think that's hilarious. when April says that. And I forgot that it was a thing. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. So I wrote it down. So it's been good. I really like rewatching shows for that reason, because the things that you either forget things or you just experience something that you just didn't experience last time, because either you missed it because you were laughing at something else beforehand, or just the joy of rewatching. I'm a big rewatcher. I'm a big rereader. If I really like something, there is a good chance that I will come back to it. I think that's really fun and something good to do. I think it's good to do anyway, to reread, especially the ones or the shows or the movies or the books or even the podcasts that you really resonated with or that you enjoyed yourself with, because you just don't know what you're going to get out of it the second time. And I think that's really, really cool. And it's even really good to reread things and see how far you've come, even in that way, because my favorite book series growing up was something called the Mohawk Trilogy. I do not remember who's it by. Is it Kieran? Is it Kieran? I can't remember. I don't know. I can't remember. But I read that now and go, wow. I'm really glad I grew up a little bit, because she started out as this really cool badass, and she was taking on the world. She's a woman in a man's job back in, fantasy times. But like by book 2, she just becomes the whiny side chick because she falls in love. And I'm like, what is this? Like, I loved this book. I thought it was fantastic. I'm like, oh yeah, because I was a teenager and I too fell in love with Christopher. And of course, like, you get moon-eyed and you're just like, I love this person. And you forget about the actual goal of the book. So I think it's really good to be able to even be critical of what you do love and what you thought was so important back then. I loved this book. I told everybody to read it. It was fantastic. And now it's like, it's nostalgic, but I can see the problems that are in it, and I can still love it and still say that there's problems. I don't think that's something you should shy away from. I think that we do get a little bit caught up, because we do, especially the nerdier side, the geekier side, we do get sort of, our personalities sort of get tied up in these stories and this media and stuff like that. And I can understand the hesitance, because like media shapes you. The things that you read, the things that it does shape you. So I think sometimes we can be a little bit, and maybe it's just embarrassment of like, admitting that, yeah, this isn't the best, so you're kind of saying that you're not the best. But I think we've all been problematic at least once in our lives. We've all been, we all have to grow. There's nothing wrong with growing. We should pursue growth. Constantly learn, forever be learning. And I think that's really important. And I think that's something that is really good with rereading. You can go back and, you can see where you've grown. I think that's really cool and really important. And you can still take good lessons from the media that you did love when you were younger, or even like 3 or 4 years ago. Like, you can still take important lessons, but you can also see, oh, that's not a lesson I should take from that. I feel like this has been said to death. But anyway, I'm going to move on now, because I'm rattling on. But yes, so we're finally back in, like, now that I've stopped rambling about all that, you've caught up. We're going to start talking about the things that we are, what am I saying? Sugar. I'm going to start talking about the things that I'm going to be writing about. So, Adventuring Academy, which is a D&D thing, I guess, where Brendan Lee Mulligan interviews some people that have been at his table. This month, or July's month, was Jacob Wysocki. Huge fan of Jacob Wysocki. His recent Game Changer episode made me sob like a damn baby. Like, it was gorgeous. And like, again, I just love this show, this Dropout, so much, because you can feel the community, and you can feel that Sam Reich just, he has definitely made a family there, through his comedians and through his actors, and even the PAs. Everyone just seems to be well loved and well looked after there. It's just really beautiful to see. I'm getting teary thinking about it. It's so lame. It's so embarrassing. Like the parasocial element that I have for this. But yeah, so Jacob Wysocki's episode, and it was really great. It was wonderful because naturally I just love Jacob Wysocki. The two quotes that I wrote down was normal people worry me, which I thought was really funny, and one of the questions when Brandon Lee Mulligan's was like these rapid fire this or that kind of questions, he said Thelonious Monk or John Coltrane, and and which are two jazz musicians if you didn't know. And Jacob Wysocki's answer was Fix You by Coldplay. And he started singing. And I don't know why, but something about that just tickled my brain just right. And every now and then, since that interview, every now and then, I'll just randomly hear Jacob Wysocki sing Fix You by Coldplay, and it just makes my day a little bit brighter. I have no idea why that particular interaction just stood out so hard in my brain, but it did, and I just really like it. I just love the way his face was when he said Fix You by Coldplay, like the cheekiness behind it, but then he started singing. It was really wonderful. I don't know what it was. It's just... can you see that I'm fangirling over this person? Oh my goodness. Anyway... The second thing on this page was Emily Wilde's The Maps of the Other Lands, which is book 2 in the Emily Wilde series. Now, review time, my thoughts. I really liked the first book. I thought it was very charming, very cute, obviously. I didn't like the second one as much. Now, I am very new to cozy fantasy. I've been reading high fantasy for years, which is probably why I only ever read 4 books a year, and now I think I'm up to my 27th this year. I don't even know. It's a lot. It's probably not that much. It's probably like 20th. But I've been reading a lot of standalones and things like that. So this was my very first would you consider Saint of Steel by T. Kingfisher cozy? It has a cozy element to it, but the stakes are still there. There's still violence. I don't know. But I feel like I want to say this was my first proper cozy series where there was multiple books in a cozy vibe. Now, I think I fully put it on myself as to why I didn't enjoy it, but nothing happened. Like, it honestly felt like the exact same book. Like, the stakes didn't really get higher. The reliance, and I think this is what really frustrates me, and why I really struggle sometimes to like books written in first person, because you don't get the full picture all the time. You are very reliant on the quote-unquote person telling the story to tell you everything. I don't know if that is the unreliable author or whatever, but there was a huge reliance on Fey fog. So, they go to the Fey world and, they black out every time something slightly stressful happens, and all of a sudden they've woken up in a different room and it's been 3 days, and that seems to happen a lot at the crux of this book, the climax, when things are starting to ramp up. And I felt so depleted. I was like, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more. Like, the book talked up the bad guy for a really long time, and like the ending to that was very anticlimactic. I didn't feel like the characters changed either. Like, this is a 3-book series. I wanted a little bit more character development. Like, in the first book, Emily constantly complains about how she feels she's not good at communicating, or she's not great at, especially communicating emotions. She's a very cold kind of person. And I was like, there could have been a little bit more warmth. Like, you're traveling around with your niece, you got this dude hanging around you, and like there was just a lot of kind of like, I just got to the end of the book and I was sort of like, what was the point of that? This entire book could have been the first 2 chapters of the 3rd book. And I'm like, I'm in no rush to read the 3rd book. I will probably read it next though, because I say that I literally just said I'm in no rush to read it. To be fair, I'm not. It's been a month since I've read this book, and between the 1st and the 2nd book was a week. So by my standards, for example, I read the Saint of Steel series. I read 4 books in the space of, I read 3 books in the space of 3 days, and I couldn't find the 4th one for a while. So I think that took me about a week to find. So I read the entirety that is out so far of the Saint of Steel series in the space of a week and a half. So, if once I get into a series that I like and I enjoy, I enjoy it. I want to read it. I want to consume it as quickly as possible. So, I probably will read it after the book that I'm reading now, which is Black Tongue Thief by Christopher Buehlman. I'm pretty sure his name's Buehlman. He's the author of Between Two Fires, which is I think my second 5-star book of the year. I freaking love that book. I still think about it. That's how much I love it. So, and again, it could also be that I went from a horror book to this cozy fantasy, and the premise of this book was so good. Like, the premise of the stories are so good. And like, it wasn't badly written or anything. I still enjoyed the journey. I just feel like if the journey had more happening, I'd enjoy it more. I don't know. I just didn't feel like when you finish a book, you have that sense of completion, or you have that sense of like, even like in a series when you're supposed to end on somewhat of a cliffhanger, especially book 2. And even then, even like consistently, book 2 is usually the best book. Two Towers, by far the best book of, to be fair, I just really like Mary Hand. But like, you get good juicy character development. You get good juicy storylines where, the third book is the conclusion of everything. But the second book is where all the good stuff comes. And I was excited for good stuff to happen. But I feel like it didn't happen. So yeah, I wasn't happy at all. I still rated it 3 stars though, because I do think this was completely on me, because my expectations got too high. Again, I've never really read a purely cozy fantasy series before, so maybe I did expect, like, oh, this is cozy fantasy to start with, maybe it'll get more intense as the series goes on. I think my expectation was in the wrong spot. And I've been definitely going into books blind more. I've been consciously doing that because the last couple of times Instagram or TikTok has told me to read a book, I was like, this wasn't worth reading, guys. I'm so sorry, but no thank you. So, especially because I just don't think people know how to talk about books anymore. Or, it's just all this tropey shit, and I'm like, oh, I just swore. No. You can see I'm getting passionate. I think I'm just getting sick of like people explaining books to me with like these tagline. I don't even know. I'm just getting kind of bored of that. So, yes, I don't trust TikTok anymore, or I don't trust Book Talk much anymore. Which again is also probably one of those things I don't spend enough time on the Book Talk side of things to fine-tune my algorithm. I don't know. I don't care. I also don't care. When I first picked up the first Emily Wilde book, I talked about how I forgot about the experience of going to a bookstore and just picking a book at random and reading it. And I'm deciding to do that again. I've got a TBR of some Bookstagram, Book Talk people that haven't steered me wrong yet. And I'm definitely trying to get into like literary fiction a little bit more as well, sort of opening my palette a little bit more, because I'm not, I'm so deeply entrenched in the fantasy world, but I do want to sort of explore more. Like, I'm even considering other like horror books, like more fantasy horror maybe. I don't want to do modern day stuff. I definitely, like, even the horrors or whatever, I'm just not a fan. They call it contemporary. I can't remember what the genre is called, but I just don't. Obviously, literary fictions are probably a little bit different because it could be a little bit more modern and stuff. But I feel like literary fiction is its own genre because it's nicer written. I don't know. I'm just slowly getting there, alright, guys? Give me a second. Give me a year, I'll probably be reading contemporary exclusively. But as of right now, I'm just slowly branching out. Because, yeah, the Between Two Fires was like, oh, if this is horror, I might be able to handle some other horror. Even T. Kingfisher, she does horror books as well. And because I thoroughly enjoy T. Kingfisher's stories, I might dip my toes into some of her fantasy horrors. because I think she writes horror more than anything else. So I think she is more of a horror writer. So I might dip my toes in that a little bit. So, yes. What was I talking about? I was talking about Early Wild. But yeah, so I think it was more on me as to why I didn't enjoy the second of that book. I will probably read the third one next, because I do have that nagging thing of like, I kind of want to know what happens. Tell me the ending of the story. And I've been reading on a Kindle, and after reading 2 physical books, oh boy, I miss it. I miss having bookmarks. I miss having something physical. I like when you sit there and contemplate. I don't know if everybody does this, but when you've read a chapter or anything, and you sit there and you just smell the pages while you think. That's what I do. That's my weird little book ritual. It's not weird. I'm sure there's like 80% of you do that. But yeah, I miss that. Kindles don't smell like anything. Kindles smell like fingers, and that's gross, and I don't like that. Something else I want to dabble in as well when it comes to physical reading, I really want to start annotating a little bit. I watched like this 30-second video. It probably wasn't 30 seconds. It was probably like a 4-minute YouTube video about making annotations simple. And I've talked about it before, about how I don't want to sit there with a whole book and like sticky notes and a whole system. I don't want that. I don't want reading to become a chore. It is an escape for me, but I often forget. I'm also not that kind of, I'm not the person to write down, like you read a quote, go, oh, that was an incredible quote. I'm going to stop reading this second to write it down on my phone or write it down on a piece of paper. I'm not that person either. But if I have a pen, which I have on me pretty much all of the time, and this guy, I can't remember what it was. I will link the video below though, if anybody is curious. This guy was like, these are two things that you need. And it's a pen and a book. And I was like, yeah, that's all I want. Tell me more, bro. And he was like, he basically just said, if you like a passage, don't underline it. You just put one of those funky, squiggly brackets around like the section that you wrote. And that's all you need. That's annotating. Because it stood out to you for any particular reason. He was like, I like to write stars if it was incredibly good. And I was like, I can do that. That's so easy. And it's really good too. So when I can flick back through the book, I've got all the quotes and stuff that I need. Because a pen, that's all I need is a pen. I have a reading corner. There's going to be a little cup of pens there now for my reading, annotating. And I'm like really excited about it. As you can tell, I've gotten louder with my speech. So I want to sort of attempt that in the next book. I think that's going to be really fun, and stuff. I might start, because I'm a reactionary person. I might do like I might think to myself like a little bit of a what do they call that? A key. So I might have a star for like beautiful things, an exclamation point for what? Shocking. And maybe like a, I don't even know, sad face for this was boo. I don't like this. No, thank you. Probably not though. I think I like to be a bit more of a positive person. So it will be more of like a positive reaction over a bad reaction. I don't know. Again, I'm just new to this. I saw this video maybe a week ago. And one of those things I haven't been able to stop thinking about, but because I've been in a Kindle, haven't really been able to do that. And yes, anyway, that is my book rant so far this time. And since then, again, it's just been Parks and Rec. We watched Parks and Rec for about 2-3 weeks. And then we got back into Cloudwood Ho because I started missing it. And we also started to forget what was happening. So we have now decided that we're just going to keep up with it. And we will try and figure out other things to watch. The Leanne Morgan sitcom came out, I think, this week. So we might watch that in between. And like because we've left it for a month, I think we're about a month behind. I think we've only just finished episode 4. And I think episode 8's just come out. So we're far enough behind now where, you know, we won't catch up really, really quickly. because, you know, we still have things to do through the week. You know, we still have D&D. Like I said, my partner still wants to play video games. We're trying to also replay Borderlands 3 before Borderlands 4 comes out. I don't know if they're even connected. We've decided to watch absolutely nothing about it. We're really big fans of the Borderlands series. We loved Borderlands 2. Fun fact, when me and my partner first started dating, I spent a fortnight with him, 2 weeks. I spent 2 weeks with him, and he was like, hey, I would really like it if you play. I'm not a gamer, not a big gamer at all. And he was like, I would really appreciate it if I taught you how to play this video game and if you play this video game with me. So for 2 weeks, we spent all day, every day. Not all day, every day, but the majority of the time playing this video game until its completion. And now it's like one of those weird, fun memories, and I always play the Borderlands series with him. And I got into sort of gaming because of that. You know, I'm still not a big gamer, but is it? Oh, there's a new game that we've been playing with friends of ours as well. Like, I've gotten into gaming in a group setting. Like, if he was like, oh, I have a new game to play, will you play with me? I'd be like, yeah, sure, why not? You know, like I did It Takes Two with him, which was really, really fun. Obviously, we're waiting for Split Fiction to go on a better sale so we can buy it. Again, when the new Borderlands when the new Borderlands games comes out, I play with him. So it's like a hobby that he shared with me that I like to share with him. And, like, he even bought Animal Crossing. Like, we play Animal Crossing together because I love Animal Crossing. It has been, like, my video game hyperfixation for the past 5 years. I haven't stopped playing it. There was about a year where I went on hiatus because I was so sick with my second child, and I just physically could not do anything. So, but yeah, that's, like, really the only time I've not played it. But yeah, he bought it as well. Maybe a year or two after I had it, and he was like, I'll play with you. So, like, he makes his own little islands, and they're always super fancy, and he's, like, better at it than me, and I don't appreciate that. Though I catch bugs. I catch the animals, and he never does. His museum always looks so sad, and I was like, bro, you gotta give your villagers something to look at. Come on. But anyway, so yeah, it's like where did I get oh yeah, because we've been filling in our time with anything other than Cloudwood Ho. The tangents I've gone on today, my goodness. Anyway, so we've started watching Cloudwood Ho again because we keep forgetting what's happening, and they're like, I wish that they did do recaps. That would be really handy. But they don't. Maybe they do. No, I don't think they do. Anyway, but we also have the adventuring parties to watch as well after every episode, so we've got to remember to do that when we finish an episode, to watch the adventuring party, because it's really fun seeing their theories and, you know, them talking about what happened. It's also a good, maybe we should start doing that before the next episode, because it's kind of like a recap, because they do talk about things. Actually, great idea. That's what we're going to be doing from now on. I've just decided that. Anyway, so that has been fun. Obviously, Hayley Williams released her 17 singles this week. Technically in July, because it happened on Monday American time, Tuesday Australian time, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. But, you know, it came out for 24 hours, 48 hours there for a hot second. Then she released them all again on Friday, which is technically August, but still, it doesn't count. It's in July. So that's all I've been listening to. I haven't been listening to a lot of music this month. Before Hayley Williams, I have been sort of listening to a lot of, I've been listening to a lot of radios on Spotify, and they've been really quite handy. I've been listening to a lot of, hang on, let me check my book. I really should have this open. I don't know. But, like, it was an R&B artist. I've been really digging R&B, and, like, I've been digging R&B, and I've been digging soul music lately. I don't know what it is, but it just tickles my heart. And my soul. That's probably why it's called soul music. But it's been really good. I've been listening to a bunch of different artists there. Obviously, when Hayley Williams' music came out, that's all I've been listening to, because I'm a nerd. But I'm a Hayley Williams / Paramore nerd. But that's been really nice. It's been really nice just sort of having that in the background while I do other things, like while I work and stuff. So I haven't been like actively listening to music. If a song really stands out, I will save it. But yeah, so music hasn't been, yeah, like sort of this last month has sort of been kind of, no, I don't want to say dead, because Parks and Rec is still good, but because it's a rewatch, there's no surprises. I don't get super giddy about it anymore, because I know what's happening, I know what's coming. Even a lot of the quotes, because of like the age of TikTok and stuff, I'm still rewatching random scenes because it pops up on feeds and things. But you can see me right now about to start giggling. Also, just this page right here, I spelled Haley wrong. I forgot the Y, and I'm so mad at it. I didn't notice this until literally this morning when I was going through my notebook trying to think of things to talk about today. And yeah, I was so upset at myself because I thought that was a really funky font thing that I did, and it's Hallie instead of Haley. I'm a little mad, but anyway. Also, something I've just discussed. Wait, no, this is next month. This is technically today. You're gonna have to wait. I'm so sorry. I'm not about to steal content from myself, because finding things to talk about can be tricky. Not that I haven't stopped talking since I sat down, but still. But yeah, this month has been kind of, I feel like it's been kind of slow. Once we picked up Cardboard Hoe again, it felt a bit busier, or it felt a little bit more, because it was new, you know, and I was really enjoying myself. It was really great. So this coming month, August, is going to be fantastic, because obviously I've got Hayley Williams to listen to all month. I've got Cardboard Hoe to watch. I've got the Leanne Morgan show that just came out. That looks really, really funny. I really like her comedy. I think it's really funny as an old lady myself. It's so funny. I like saying that as a 30-year-old, talking about how old I am, and like these women are in like their 50s and their 60s, but I resonate with them, and it's really cool. Anyway, but yeah, so next month is going to be a little bit more jam-packed, I would hope. But yeah, this month was a very slow month, and I'm okay with it. We were also sick this month. It's winter here in Australia, so like, you know, one kid gets sick and you just slowly snowball. So if she gets sick, I'll get sick, and then my other kid gets sick, and then my partner gets sick, and then it just constantly we just cycle through illnesses. So it's just been a bit, even just in general, things have just been a bit slow. So we are perking up now. My youngest looks like she might be getting sick again, but she's resisting a little bit. My partner got sick last week, but again, he drank his weight in turmeric and chicken soup, and he firmly testifies that that's the reason why he didn't crash and burn. So a lot of cultures say turmeric is fantastic for colds and stuff like that, so it's not a new thing. But, you know, it's his first discovery, and as a white man, he needs to claim it as his own discovery. If he hears this, he's gonna hate me for saying that. I'm okay with it. It was a funny joke. I'm so tired. Can you tell? Oh my gosh, I'm giggling at myself. Anyway, I think that's really it though. Like, I haven't really got anything else to say, because yeah, I've been slowly reading. Okay, let's talk about books again, because I haven't been in the mood to read. I just haven't been, and it's been really bad. So the book that I have been currently reading for the past month is Black Tongue Thief by Christopher Buehlman. And I love Chris Buehlman's, I've already nicknamed him like a true Australian. I don't know this man. I want to call him Chris though. Chris Buehlman's writing style is fantastic. I thoroughly enjoy his writing style. But for some reason, I just don't care. I just have not been in the mood to read. I have been trying to get off my phone at night more, like actually putting it away somewhere. So I've been trying to read before bed instead of like scrolling or playing my phone games. Like, yeah, just trying to get better habits, because I realize I haven't been sleeping all that well. So yeah, but like I read, and like when I read it, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It has absolutely nothing to do with the story. Like, I want to know what happens. The premise of this book is fantastic. I'm really excited. They've got giant corvids, for crying out loud. That's sick. That's so cool. But yeah, my brain just does not care about reading right now. And I'm really sad about it because I had a really good run there. You know, there was a period of time where I wasn't constantly reading, and it felt like me again. You know, I was one of those teenagers that read constantly. It's actually really funny. I found I found some old footage from a family holiday trip we were going to. My brother was filming some footage of us in the airport, and every time you panned to me, I was sitting on the floor. Like, we were lining up to check in baggage, and I was just sitting on the floor reading. On the trip, like on the plane trip, I was reading. On the car trip, like the bus trip to our destination, I was reading. I was like, yes, I was a reader. I was going on a family vacation and I bought my book. Like, that's cool. I thought, I'm like, yes, that's me. That's what I remember a lot of my teen years being, is just reading constantly. And yeah, I kind of miss that. But yeah, I just haven't been in the mood. Maybe it was just like maybe the Emily Wilde thing just put me in a little bit of a funk, because I was excited to read something and it didn't live up to the expectation that I put it on, and now I'm sulking about it a little bit. But it's also probably because I've just gotten out of routines because we've been sick. You're just in survival mode when the entire house is constantly sick. So it could just be that. But no. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the book that I'm reading. Just haven't been reading it. So hopefully I can get out of that habit very, very soon. Or get back into the habit really soon, I should say. Get out of the habit of not reading and get back into the habit of reading. But I do think that's it. I think that's everything I need to say. I think I have rambled for quite a while. We're very close to wrapping up this video anyway. So I think I'm pretty safe to say goodbye. You can just listen to the last bit of scratching of the pen, some sticking down of some stickers, a tiny little bit of a flip through, and then you can move on with your lives as well. Thank you so much for once again listening to me ramble about media and the things that I consume. It's always a lot of fun. I get so passionate, as you can tell. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you're curious about, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I'm just going to link below the sticker paper that I use. I know some people can get curious about the kind of sticker paper that I use, and cool girls don't gatekeep. So I'll link below the sticker paper that I use for these little the fan art and like the cover stickers and stuff. But yes, I will do that for you guys because I know I'm a sticky beak and I really like to know what people use. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm definitely going to go now. Okay, thank you so much for watching as always. I appreciate you. I love you all. Bye-bye.